Hello, hello. Happy Friday. FriYay. Yay, yay, yay. Y'all ready? You ready for the weekend? I'm ready to go. So come on in, you guys. It's time to get going. It's time to get busy. I see people. They're coming in. This is what I like to see. It's time, y'all. Who's going to say hello? Who is going to say hello first? I see people and people. There's Catherine. Hello, Catherine. And Haida's in the house. There's my Bobby girl. Hey, Bobby. Peggy is watching. I see all of you coming in. There's another Heidi. And Tracy. How's my Tracy today? Betsy. Hello. Yes, you're catching me live today. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Vanessa. And Janice. I love watching you guys pour in here. It's so much fun. I feel like romper room. Sue, I'm doing well. How about you, Sue? And Joanne? There's Betsy. Amy, good morning, good afternoon. Good whatever. It's FriYay. And Joanne and Nora, hi. Ashira. Good to see everybody. Carrie's in the house. Good. Keep coming, you guys. And don't forget, when you share, you care. And I love the little hearts. There's Trisha and Gabriella. So you guys, you're not even going to believe this. I have a question today. A question. So I have like a whole pad of notes. So I just thought, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to have, you're having a stinking thinking bonfire. Yay. Lisa, I know we're on for later on. We are on for later on. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our day because, what is this? Costs nothing to dream, but everything if you don't. We want to talk about dreams, don't we? Always, constantly keep them in the forefront of our brains. Have you noticed something? That when you are thinking about something perpetually, that you're attracting that into your life? Isn't that so cool? Isn't that neat the way that the brain works? So keep that in mind when you're dwelling on the negative, that that's the stuff that you're attracting into. Yikes. It's so important that our thoughts are just cleaned up to the point where they are thoughts that support the life that we're trying to lead, right? Our creativity and a big, fat, juicy, vibrant life. Isn't that what you want? Just tell me if that's what you want. I want to know if that's what you want. I'll tell you what, that's what I want. My brain might be hard to be toasted in there this week. Was hard. Hard comes, you know. If we think that we're going to have smooth sailing all the way and it's just going to be a super easy cakewalk, I don't know what planet you live on, but in my world, there are times when it is hard. But it's also how the perspective of how you deal with hard. Is it hard? And we're going to go, oh my gosh, it's so hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. And we're consumed with hard. Or do we say, you know what, this is hard, but I've got a plan for that. Be Elizabeth Warren when it comes to that. Seriously, every time she says something, I got a plan for that. That wasn't a political statement, by the way. It was just funny. So laugh. We need to laugh in these polarizing times. We have to look at things from the perspective of what it is that we choose to dwell on. When we dwell on the wrong thing, it seems to come into our lives. I don't want that for you. And that's why I keep saying this stuff over and over again, because it is important. It is important. Yes, your butt stops the bus, doesn't it? Your butt stops the bus. And sometimes it's the butt that you're sitting on. Your butt stops the bus. I like it. But your yeah butts throw a monkey wrench into the whole thing, don't they? They justify your excuses. They justify your rationalizations and keep you squarely in the corner with nowhere to turn. So the butt stops the bus, but your yeah butts stop everything and keep you confined into a jail cell, really, of your own making. Keep that in mind. And if it's, and to quote Dr. Phil, how's that working for you? I mean, I love Dr. Phil's just, plain down to earth. This is what he's just like bringing it home. This is what we have to look at. Is it working or not? If it's not working, then we have to change our minds. That's all there is to it. Because if we are, as Aristotle says, we are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence is a habit, isn't it? And we are all about excellence. We don't want to be about perfection. Perfection is what freezes us and paralyzes us and keeps us boxed into a little corner where we can't reach out. That's what perfectionism does. Perfectionism is not an option. Perfectionism has shown itself to be a very bad choice because it paralyzes us. It keeps us locked into a course that we don't want in our lives. But if we are women of excellence, and we are wise women, and therefore women of excellence, that's what we strive for. And there's nothing damaging about that. It is uplifting. It is up-leveling. It makes us feel good about ourselves because the achievement comes along because of our excellence and further bolsters our lives. It's so incredible. These are so simple concepts, but we fight with them, don't we? We fight with these concepts. Ashira said, I just got my Take Back Your Life journal. I'm excited to get you started, Ashira. I love this. This is what Ashira is talking about, you guys. It is the Take Back Your Life journal, and that's what this is all about, is taking back your life or starting it the way you want it. You know, we're not trees. We're not planted. We're not stuck. We get to make choices in our lives. We get to do things that are good for us and propel us into the life that we want. We don't ever have to accept mediocrity again. We don't ever have to accept the garbage that just seems to come into our lives. We can push back and say, no, I don't want that. We can push back. I love what Catherine says. She said, fighting the good fight and hanging in there. You know, sometimes that's all we can do. We hold on with both fingernails, all fingernails, just onto the cliff. Onto the cliff. But the cliff is a better place to be than to just be walking along without having a care in the world and just letting life happen. I'd rather be on the cliff because at least I know that struggle to get back up is worth getting onto the other side. To just walk through life and waste time and to just give up your time and to throw things. You know, when I hear somebody just say, we're just here killing time. Oh, I just think that's such an insult. I think when God hears that, his ears burn. You're killing time? Are you kidding me? This is a gift. The time that I have given you is a gift. Stop saying that. Every minute counts. Every minute counts. Oh my goodness. Heidi just said, I just launched my 8th child out the door and now it's time for me. You bet it's time for you. You bet it's time for you. It is time for you. And if you're here today and you've shown up and suited up, you're sharing this video, you're getting into the juicy meat of what this message is all about. It is time for you. And I'm going to tell you one thing that I know for sure, based on everything that I've ever seen in 25 plus years of nutrition counseling, in living my life and being 61 years old. I get to throw that around too, by the way. I get to throw the senior card down. That those who suit up, show up, and plan are the ones who succeed. That's it. When you just let things go and you're just drifting along like you're an otter in a lake, just whatever, I'll just throw this little nut and play with it on my chest. You're not an otter. You know, you're a human being. You're a human being created with big things in mind. Big things. And to just allow yourself to drift mindlessly in this world, which is just a crazy soup pot, is it not? It's crazy out there. It's nutty out there. There's all kinds of crap going on and all kinds of people out there that just, you know what, they're there to take advantage of you and take up your time. They're there not for you, not to help you be a better person, but they're there to say, hey, there's somebody who can volunteer. There's somebody who doesn't have anything going on. She doesn't work. Come on. When we give up our time and we just give it up for anything, anyone, We're giving up a portion of ourselves, and we don't have the time to spend on ourselves. So I know this, that self-care has to come first. When you self-care, when you care enough about yourself to put yourself first, to plan for your food, to plan for your movement, to plan to be hydrated. Cheers. Then you're not just a victim to whatever comes your way. You're not just a victim. No, you're not. You're a victor. You're not helpless or hopeless. You're not. And you're not pitiful. You're powerful. This is how we pull out our inner power. I'm going to talk more about that in a minute, but first of all, back to business. What am I drinking? I am drinking hot milk mix. I don't know if this is in the shop right now. It seems to fly off the shelf. And I will tell you exactly what this stuff is. It has all your electrolytes, it has a little MCT oil, and it has exogenous ketones in it. Keeps you in ketosis, makes you feel good, gets rid of the leg cramps and all of that. Best stuff ever. I love it. We have that in the shop. So if you're looking for something that makes you feel good, that's it. So we have a question. Let me get that question pulled up because today is Q&A day. Do you want to hear something? One question. I have one question. Now I know that there's more questions out there. You have questions about cooking, nutrition, whatever, mindset. Send them my way. You go to support@savingdinner.com, send in your questions. I answer them every Friday. I have one question, but it's a good one, so we'll spend a little time on it, okay? Yeah, Robin, volunteering is a good thing for you to do. It is. It makes you feel really good, but not over-volunteering. I'm not talking about, hey, don't volunteer and just, be a self-love guru and sit home and examine the lint in your navel. I'm saying to really appreciate the time that you have and remember that you need to fit into the equation too, and so does your family. There's a lot of us who self-sacrifice in order for us to make everybody else's life fabulous. Been there, done that. I speak from experience, but you have to fit into the equation too. If you are giving up and volunteering in lieu of taking care of yourself, you will be the one sitting across the desk from the doctor who's saying, I'm sorry, but you have this chronic condition. It builds. You can't. You just cannot not take care of yourself. When you don't take care of yourself, you are going to reap the consequences of that lack of care. I mean, what happens if you don't do anything with your car? If you don't service your car, there will be a time of reckoning, and you will be on the side of the road. Robin says, I understand that. I know you do. But I'm just making sure everybody else does, because I'm not anti-volunteer. I am not anti-doing things and helping people out. I really believe in it. And I think that the generosity of our hearts and souls need to be a part of our living experience. This is how we stay in alignment with our assignment here on this earth, but not in place of that. And you got to take care of yourself doctors are helpful, but so is your self-care at home. An Epsom salt bath, for example, getting the sleep that you need, eating the food that is necessary, hydrating yourself and the way you need to, and moving. All of these things, meditating and being centered, all of these things come into play. We all need to do that. This is part of the human equation, and it's part of our requirements for life. It's really important. Yes, Ashir is exactly right. Put the oxygen mask on yourself first, then help the person next to you. We don't do that, most of us. We struggle with that. We think we need to do all of these, we need to do these things first, and we're last on the list. And I'll tell you, I know this from experience because I have done it repeatedly. And I'll tell you right now, I have been here since July. Downstairs, I have a sauna. I have a sauna. We put it together. It's operative. Have I been in it? No. And I was just thinking today, I was going through everything and I thought, here's an assignment for me. I'm going to build a self-care list. Here's an assignment for you. Build yourself a self-care list. What can you do that's on the line of self-care that you can do every day that's something every day that's going to make you feel like I am being taken care of. You can do that with your planning, with your nutrition, with your, all of these things. And you can also do it with things like a sauna. You can do it with things like a walk in the woods. You can do it with a meditation app. You can do it with a chat that you haven't had with a friend in a long, long time. All the things that feed your soul, body and soul, that's how it all works. We aren't just, humans, human mammals walking around. We have souls. And we have to feed those souls as much as we need to feed those bodies. And we get to do that in this world when we make those choices. But when we don't make those choices and we just run all along on default, there you go. You lose yourself to everything else. And you come last. And I don't want that for you. And that's why I mention this. And that's why I mention it again and again. But anyway, we are talking about fatty liver today. Fatty liver. I know, sauna sounds dreamy, right? And I have one. There's Lynn. She says, I have a jacuzzi tub, almost like brand new. And after 25 years, I'm guessing you haven't been in there in a while, huh? So Lynn, there's your assignment. You're in my club. You're in the hot milk club. You need to get in that jacuzzi tub and enjoy it. That's all. Okay, let's get that question, and we can start with our Q&A. This is from Jadine. She says, hi there, longtime fly baby. So glad to connect with you. I didn't gain weight until I was 40. Went on Prozac. By the way, if you... anybody out there, I'm going to just stop right now. Sidebar. If you're on any kind of medication and you haven't looked up what the side effects are and the contraindications and all of that, then get that done today and understand what they are. Because, and I say this, antidepressant, this to me is like the weirdest thing. There's like 2 antidepressants out there that don't have the side effects of weight gain. And how depressing is that, right? I mean, I'm depressed. Now I'm gaining weight and I'm taking this antidepressant. I mean, come on. The dots are not connecting on that. So just understand Prozac one of the side effects of Prozac is weight gain. 10 to 25 pounds, by the way. Just saying. But I got off that 5 years later. Good thing. I'm 65 now and weigh 265. I work 3 to midnight. That's tough. That's hard on your circadian rhythm. We'll talk about that. The schedule is tough for trying to have a normal eating schedule. Yes, it is. Here's the biggest concern. I have fatty liver. Not sure how advanced, but shows in the blood work with slight elevations and on CT scans. Literally, everything I investigate gives liver warnings. Of course it does. I'm afraid of keto because of putting more fat in your liver. Nope, that's not. I know you're not a doctor, but I would love your input. I'm a hardcore researcher and had high hopes for L-glutamine. Of course, that was not advised. Maybe the way you just demonstrate it would not be as bad as taking by the spoonfuls. I know the internet will scare you to death, and doctors, in my opinion, don't have time to give you anything but referrals and prescriptions and surgeries. Thank you for your time. Okay, so as I have a hot flash, welcome to my world. So Jadine, let's unpack this a little bit. First of all, like I said, and I just said to everybody, Prozac and all these antidepressants, all of them with a few exceptions have a side effect of weight gain. So understand that going in. And all of us, any medication that we're on, we need to look at this and see what are the side effects and address this with our doctor and ask them about that. Because if they're going to subscribe it, we need to be students of that particular pill and understand exactly what it's going to do. So what is it going to do? Is it going to mask the symptom, or is it going to be the cure the root cause? What is the idea? What is the thing behind this medication? Ask those questions. Ask those questions. As a proactive patient, we have to ask those questions. That's number one. Number two, your schedule. You say you work 3 to midnight. That is tough, but it's doable. And as long as you kind of, you have to work on your circadian clock. Robin, go look it up. Robin says, what about Zoltaf? I've been on it forever, but it's not really working. Go look it up. You can say, Google side effects of Zoltaf and find out what they are. We need to look at that. Janice, Aren't you a little too mature? Are you kidding me, Janice? You're being mean. That's mean. Aren't you a little too mature to be having hot flashes? Well, now, as I wipe the sweat off my face, I think that's kind of rude. That's what I have to say, Janice. Sorry, it's rude. I have an estrogen deficiency. You didn't want to say old? Okay. Thanks, Janice. Okay. So here's the thing. It's tough for a normal eating schedule, but it's not impossible. You still have an opportunity to fast. You still have an opportunity to break your fast wisely, and you still have an opportunity to eat well. And here's the thing that you need to understand. That a fatty liver is the side effect, if you will, at having at eating a lot of sugar. I'm sorry, but that's just it. You know, isn't it interesting that it always boils down to what you're eating? This is the fuel that you give your body. Your body takes what you eat and turns it into a substance that it can use or not use. Your body is one of these things where it makes a determination on the food that comes in. When it comes in, it says, this is useful. I can use this for building up. I can use this for building good tissues here. I can use this for helping. I can use this for giving you the nutrition and the nutrients that you need in order to do X, Y, and Z bodily functions. This is what your body does. Or your body takes it in and says, oh my gosh, this is inflammation. This is hurting me. This is a problem. This is what it is. And you know, your body is in that place. I've got to get rid of these comments because you guys are distracting me. And I'll bring them back. Your body is in the place of making determinations, and it's either good or it's bad. And if it's bad, then it's inflammation. It's gonna cause you pain. When your joints are inflamed, when your skin is on fire, when you're all whacked out, you know. What is this? What's brain fog anyway? Where does that come from? It comes from inflammation. Inflammation is the mother of this. And how does inflammation get into the body? It's sugar, carbohydrates. That happens. And you know, our blood glucose levels go up normally as we age, just like our cholesterol does. It's just part and parcel. You know, at 61 years old, yes, I'm 61, still getting hot flashes. Yes, sorry, just the way it is. But you know, our bodies are judges. You know, we shouldn't judge, but our bodies still do. Our bodies judge when it goes in what's going to happen. And so every single internal organ is going to be touched by the sugar you eat. Get that one. Write that one down. Every time you eat sugar, you're damaging some system in your body, if not all. There is no such thing as having neutral sugar. Sugar is not neutral. Sugar is damage. Sugar is addictive. Sugar is nothing but something to take you down a wrong path. That's what sugar is. And it does help build fatty liver. I was talking with someone who told me that their liver was so fatty and so hard, they had non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And here's the cool thing though. It can be reversed. You know, like if you had damaged your liver with Tylenol and Tylenol poisoning, it happens like 50,000 cases a year. And even half of your liver is destroyed. It has the power to regenerate. This is the miracle of what your body does. But you need to give it the fuel so that it can rebuild. You wouldn't dare go to a building site, somebody who's building your home, and hand them some Elmer glue and say, hey, yeah, build my house. They're sitting there getting ready to put the bricks up, and you wouldn't hand them something inferior that is not for the job, would you? In the same way, you need to do this for your body. You need to create the food, the fuel, and the building materials that it needs. And this is why we go into the anti-inflammatory zone. This is why we have the sprint in the first place. The sprint is there to say, hey, let's clear the decks. Let's get rid of the inflammation. Let's bring in the good food. We need that anti-inflammatory food. Our bodies are begging for it. Whether you have fatty liver disease or not, whether you have been tested for, and let me just say this, once you are tested, it doesn't show up for a very long time. And once it shows up, man, this is serious. You need to correct this. And the good news is it takes about 30 days of just incessantly being all about the liver. And guess what? The sprint, everything that we're doing on the sprint, feeds the liver, including that good fat, including the protein, including all those greens. Your liver is a massively amazing organ. And it is something that we just take it for granted. How much do we take for granted about our bodily processes? It just happens. We lay in bed and we're about to go to sleep. Take a minute of gratitude for all the bodily processes that you don't even have to think about. They just happen. And then think about them for a minute and be grateful for them and bless them. Having this gratitude for every cellular function that's happening in our bodies brings us into being this proactive, creative force that's working with our body. We go from being mindless to being mindful. And that's what we do with our diets. And so, Jadine, I appreciate the fact that you're a hardcore researcher, so am I. And yes, there are things, if you do things to excess, like a rotten diet, you're going to get the result of a rotten diet. Drink too much, there's non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. There's also alcoholic fatty liver disease that can happen. You put your liver through too much and it's going to rebel, but it can also rebuild back. You're not a lost cause. You can be building it back. It regenerates quickly. It loves being treated beautifully. Don't we all? I say that a bad diet is like a bad boyfriend that needs to be broken up with. It needs to be broken up with because, if a boyfriend has been abusive with you, or, God forbid a husband has been abusive with you, that won't be the last time. It will keep coming. And sometimes it gets worse and worse. So we have to break up. We have to say that's enough of that. I value my liver too much for that, and every other bodily process that I have going on in me. So keto isn't putting fat into your, adding more fat to your liver. What is adding the fat into the liver is, and making a fatty liver is the inflammation, the chronic inflammation of a really crappy diet. So when we look at a really clean, healthy diet, we start picking that apart instead of looking at what have I been doing here, What got me here? What got me to 265? What got me to this place of just having all of this stuff? Start looking at how can I be a part of the process of the rebuild. Your body, your liver is also a detox thing. It's a filtration system as well. It holds the fuel as well. And what we're trying to do is get to the place of ketosis so that we are using fat instead of glycogen, which is what your liver stores. And I'm sitting here holding my liver as I tell you all of this. I love my liver. I want you to love your liver too. And loving your liver means that you're going to give it adequate hydration. You're going to exercise. You're going to be eating so many greens. That helps to detoxify, by the way. So does cilantro. So does parsley. Eating good, healthy fat that your body can use. And we need that for hormonal function. And by the way, your liver's part of that whole hormonal thing too. Part of the endocrine system, part of the clean out system. All of this needs to be working. Our bodies aren't just one process here and one process there. It's a synergistic thing. And this is why a lot of you, and I have read your emails, I've read, the private messages. You've got a doctor over here telling you to do this, a doctor over there telling you to do that, without, they're not reconciling their balances, so to speak, and everybody's taking out of your health account, and you feel like crap. You're overly medicated, overly fed, and undernourished. And at some point you have to take a stand for yourself and say that's enough. And this is why I say dig into your knowing and know what's going on with you. is this right? Is this something that you need? Is being on 10 medications really in your best interest? I went today and looked at, somebody was asking me about Januvia or some, I don't know, some diabetic medication. I went and looked and see how much it was. And people, sorry, bitch at me, that's the word. They whine about the cost of my supplements. And I'm saying, are you kidding me? You're whining about the cost of my supplements or my programs when you're paying almost $500 a month for a medication you don't need to be on? Type 2 diabetes is a lifestyle problem, right? If you know it or not. And I'm not here to beat you up. I'm here to make you understand that yes, with a combination of fasting, giving your body a break for heaven's sake so it can do the repair work. And with a combination of moving and eating in a way that is healthy and actually feeds your body, and you stop looking at your mouth as a place for entertainment, things change. The mindset has to go with it. And I'm going to tell you what, and there are so many people who are in my groups who are diabetics, and they are doing the right things. And I am seeing nothing but fabulous things. They're working with their doctors, and their doctors are either cutting back their medications, taking them off of it. So it's possible. It's possible, but you need to make the decision. You have to decide which way do you want to go. Is it to the left and just go and just say, and just be inactive and passive and just say, okay, whatever, doc, just give me all that stuff? Or are you going to start looking up those medications and seeing what they are? Are you going to start asking and questioning your doctor and being a proactive patient and not just accept anything he or she says? MD does not stand for medical deity. And most doctors do not have the time. And you know that. How you wait hours and you get 5 minutes of their time, and do they look you in the eye? No, they don't have time. They're busy, they're stretched out, and they've got all these things going, and they've got 10 other patients waiting. Do they have the time to do the research and do all the things that you do? No, they don't. So when you go into the doctor's office with a stack of research and you've outlined it and lined it up, and you say, look, this is what's going on. These are the side effects. I don't like this. How do I get off this medication? I don't want this anymore. They're going to look at you and go, whoa. Because everybody else, the crowd, is just saying, sure, whatever you want to do, bring it on. How many more medications? Okay, I'm going to have to get another job to pay for this. Don't ever whine and complain to me about what anything that I have on my website costs. If you are laying down and just being passive and allowing whatever to happen in your life, don't you ever dare say that to me. Because I am here to wake you up. And I'm doing that, I hope. I'm here to wake you up and understand that you can take back your life at any point. That you have a voice and you can use it at any point with anyone. I don't care what they say. I don't care if they have MD after their name. You're smart. You know how to go to PubMed and get the research that you need. You know in your heart of hearts, if you are at all tuned in, that something isn't right. And if you feel it in your heart of hearts that something isn't right, don't you dare allow anyone to tell you to just shut up, put up, and here, have another pill. Don't you dare. You have a purpose in this life. You cannot have a purpose if you're overly medicated. You cannot have a purpose if you're passive and you just allow anyone and everyone to walk all over you, from your family to your friends to your school to your church to your doctor. You have to stand up for yourself. You are here for a purpose, and you'll never know it if you're just allowing yourself to be cobblestones on somebody else's life. Boy, I got a little bitchy there, didn't I? Sorry. Sometimes you just have to say it. But for Jadine, doctors have opinions, and they don't oftentimes have a lot of time. They don't have time to take you down their path. And sometimes, sometimes we get stuck with a doctor that is just terrible. And I always say this, you are not a tree. You don't have to put up with it. You're not stuck where you are. You can get another doctor. And my thing that I have always done, within my insurance and everything, I understand that integrative medicine is expensive. I do. I understand 100%. And you pay for something, sometimes you have to pay, divert your income into something that pays for you to get well. I did that with my Hashimoto's, which is now, I take a pill every day, big deal. I take a bioidentical thyroid medication, which helps my TSH, my thyroid stimulating hormone, work properly. Big deal. I'm fine. I'll do that for the rest of my life. I don't care. But it's working on the root cause, y'all. It's working on the root cause. It's not covering things up and pretending that it's not there. That's what happens with blood, with a bunch of these different, I'm not even going to get into all the medications. I'll get in trouble. Question everything. Question everything. Look for opportunities to not have to take things. One of the things I love about Marla, well, there's a lot I love about her, but we've been friends for 19 years. She is just like no, I don't want this and I don't want that. And she tells her doctor. She goes and she pays for a concierge type of a doctor service because she wants to help be partially in control. Of course, we need to listen to what our doctors are saying, but we also need to make sure that they're invested in us and not just getting us out the door. This is your life we're talking about here. You don't get another shot at this. This is your life. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to live it? Are you going to live it to the very best that you can? Or are you just going to allow everybody and anybody to come in and just start taking from you? Your power is in your knowing, and your knowing is inside of you. You just need to harness it. You connect your head with your heart. You get in there and dig. You journal. You listen to things that stimulate you and make you think, that make you say, yes, I have that power. Yes, I am not going to just roll over and allow things to happen. I'm going to take it back. I'm going to take back my life. So, back to what I said earlier, if we are what we repeatedly do, and excellence is merely a habit, then we need to plug that in every single day. And don't you think it's high time that we started to reevaluate all these habits and what's going on in our lives? Don't you think it's time? So if you are on any kind of medication right now that have been prescribed by a doctor, you go find what those side effects are and you write them down and you question your doctor on them, okay? Promise me you'll do that. That's number one. Number two, if you're not eating a healthy, good diet, anti-inflammatory diet that is feeding your body and not causing inflammation, you need to do that right now too. And if you're not hydrating yourself and you're not going about with some kind of movement every day in your life, then you're shortchanging yourself. Sitting is the new smoking, they say. So get up off your butt and stop butting your way through it. Don't make excuses, just make the time to do it. The 4-minute workout is the thing to do. Start there. But start and stop allowing those people, places, things, circumstances to rob you of the life that you need, the life that you want, the life that you desire, because it's all there for you. You just have to take the action and do it. No one can do this for you. It's up to you. So, bringing it back. Alrighty, we've had quite a little time, guys, ranting and raving. Just remember, it costs nothing to dream, but everything if you don't. Please share this video with people that you love. When next week, hopefully when Marla gets back, we're going to have a signed copy of Body Clutter going out. This is your manual for understanding what is it that is making you want to eat all the time or giving you cravings. It's not just your physiology. You're involved in this too. That's the common denominator. You're involved in this. Love you back, Yvonne. Thank you. Thank you, Catherine. You're the best. I appreciate all of you, and I appreciate it when you join me, here, and when you share this video and you say a little something about it. Every single day I show up and suit up, and I even curl my hair for you. And sometimes I have a hot flash for you if you're lucky. Bonus. But I'm here for you, and I believe in you, and that's why I show up every single day. So I wish you the very best for the rest of your day today. Don't forget, get into the supplement shop, and don't forget that we are going to start adding a shipping cost starting in January. So you want to take advantage of free shipping right now. I am here for you. I have your back. Now you have mine. Share this, and let's bring some more people in and get them in the sprint. savingdinner.com/sprint. It's free and will get you well on your way. Bless you all. Peace.